it's Cassie and welcome back to my channel. So sorry if the lighting's weird, the background's weird, angle's weird, whatever. I obviously am in a new place. I moved back to school for the year, so this is where my background's gonna be majority of my videos. Today's video is going to be my September TBR, and I am very excited because I'm playing and taking part in Becca's Bookoplathon. This will be my first time because I just started watching BookTube in like February of this year, so I'm very excited. I already did my rolls when I was at home because I need to bring all my books with me to school. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and give it a big thumbs up. Both those would mean the absolute world to me. My Instagram, Twitter, Goodreads, and Amazon wishlist will be linked in the description box below. Comment down below what is on your September TBR and if you are taking part in the Bookoplathon. Turn on your post notifications so you never miss an upload from me, and let's get right into my September TBR. Okay, so since I'm moving, we kind of have to do a janky setup, but this is gonna be it. Hopefully that's okay. So let's just get started. I am just using a random dice roller, and my little tracker is gonna be a little crystal because that's all that I have. That's this small. Okay, so we're gonna do 5 rolls because that's all I want to do this month, but it's also what Becca does, so let's just do the first roll. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, the first one's humans. That's like super easy. I'm happy that that's an easy one. So for my first roll, I rolled a 6. I landed on the square humans, and for that I'm picking The Hand on the Wall by Maureen Johnson, which is the 3rd and final book in the Truly Devious trilogy. There is The Box in the Woods that's in the series, but this is the main trilogy, the end of that. I'm very excited to finish this trilogy finally. I was gonna try and fit this in last month if I finished my TBR, but spoiler alert, I did not. So I am glad I was able to get into this TBR. So basically, I can't say the synopsis for this one or else it would have spoiled the last 2, but in the Truly Devious series, we are following Stevie as she goes to Ellingham Academy, which is a prestigious school, and you can study many different types of subjects, and hers is true crime, specifically the Ellingham kidnapping case, which is back 1930s. The founder of the school, Albert Ellingham, his wife and his daughter were kidnapped. It has never been solved by who, and there is a note signed Truly Devious that is what they believe is from the kidnappers. Stevie trying to figure out this kidnapping is drawn out throughout the whole trilogy. That's why it's the main trilogy, but within each book there is another type of mystery, sort of. I'm very excited to finally find out what happened. You find out a lot in the last book, but I'm sure there's so much more in this book, so I'm gonna get to this pretty early on in the month, I believe. Let's go to roll number 2. If I didn't say it already, I will do, if I get doubles, of course I'll add another book, but let's go to roll number 2. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mood read. Okay, this, I'm gonna jinx it, but these 2 first rolls pretty easy. I don't know if I'm gonna end up picking a book now or if I'm gonna pick as the month goes on. Probably now because I need to take these books with me to school. So for roll number 2, I got another 6 and we landed on the square of mood read, which I'll take it. I had to decide my mood read, kind of, just because I had to bring books with me to school. So I really wanted to get this on my TBR. So I chose The Beautiful by Renee Audier. I've been wanting to read this for a while now, so I'm very excited that I got it on this TBR. This might possibly be Christine from Any Endings, her Patreon buddy read for the month, I think. Or it's another one that I put on my TBR, but I wanted to read both of them anyways, so I'm just gonna read the back because I don't fully not what it's about. In 1872, New Orleans is a city ruled by the dead, but to 17-year-old Celine Rousseau, New Orleans is a safe haven after she's forced to flee her life as a dressmaker in Paris. Taken in by the Sisters of the Ursuline Convent in the middle of the carnival season, Celine is quickly enraptured by the vibrant city, from its music to its fancy soirees and even its danger. When the body of one of the girls from the convent is found in Sebastian's own lair, the second dead girl to turn up in recent weeks, Celine battles her attraction to Sebastian and suspicions about his guilt, along with the shame of her own horrible secret. After a third murder, New Orleans becomes gripped by the terror of a serial killer on the loose, one who has now set Celine in his sights. As the murderer stalks her, Celine finally takes matters into her own hands, only to find herself caught in the midst of an age-old feud between the darkest creatures of the night, where the price of forbidden love is her life. So I'm pretty sure it's vampires. So mainly I've heard it's about vampires, but then people are like, oh, it's not as vampire-y as people say it is. So we'll find out. It is YA, so while it is a kind of a chunky book, it has the big font and words, so I'm not too worried about this. It's under 500 pages, so hopefully that's good. Now for roll number 3. To roll number 3. Oh, I jinxed it. I definitely jinxed it. So we have to do 6 rolls. But I got a 2. 1, 2. So the square is who. The prompt is like, this square means read a book that I've never heard anyone talk about or barely anyone talk about, which I feel like I have a decent amount of those because of ordering from the book outlet. There's a lot of random books that I buy on there. So that one, pretty easy, but I do have to do 6 rolls now, so we have 3 more. For roll number 3, I jinxed myself and I got a double. So I rolled a 2, and now we have to add another roll onto this TBR, but that's okay, that's okay. With the 2, I landed on the square called Who, and that is to read a book that you haven't heard very much about or nobody's talked about. So for that, I decided to pick up The Rumor by Leslie Cara. I already kind of ruined it, so that's great. I recently bought this at Costco, and I've never heard of it, never really heard of this author. That just may be me. Maybe this is a really popular book, but for me, I've never really heard anyone talk about it. Rumor has it that a notorious killer who committed a brutal crime as a child has been living a new life under an assumed identity in Joanna's seaside town. So, who is the criminal hidden in their midst? Suspicion falls on everyone. As Joanna becomes obsessed with the case, her curiosity will expose her son and his father to a supposedly reformed murderer who may be ready to kill again. She will learn how dangerous one rumor can become, and just how far she must go to protect those she loves. She is going to regret the day she ever said a word. So, I don't want to spoil anything, but the premise of this book is like a plot twist of a book that I've already read, sort of, and I hated that it was the plot twist in a book, so I'm glad that we just know from the beginning, and then maybe I'll like this premise. That's why I wanted to try this book out. If you want to know what book it is, I can just DM me on Instagram. I hated that ending, but I'm thinking if I know from the beginning the twist-ish thing, then I'll like the premise. Roll number 4. Oh. Okay, I really jinxed it for us, hey? So now I have 7 rolls. A 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Becca Wreck. Roll number 4, of course, we had another double. So we got a 6, and that landed us on the square Becca Wreck. So I was a little nervous. Sorry if the angles changed or whatever. I just filmed like most of this video and it didn't save. So what I was saying, and it cut out, for Becca Wreck, I was a little nervous because while I really enjoy her content, a lot of her reading doesn't super line up because she's super into fantasy, high fantasy, and that's not really my genre. I'm not really against it, but it kind of scares me sometimes. So if you've watched any of my videos, probably you know that's not really something I dabble into too much, but I'm trying to start doing it more. So I didn't know what was going to come up as a Becca rec that I could read. Plus, I'm trying to read books that I already own because I need to get through that stuff because I have so many that I have not read. There was one that I own and that I was super interested in reading, and that is Sadie by Courtney Summer. I wanted to read this since before I bought it, and then bought it. Obviously, I want to read it. Basically, this is about when popular radio personality Wes McCrae receives a desperate phone call from a stranger imploring him to find 19-year-old runaway Sadie Hunter. He's not convinced there's a story there. Girls go missing all the time. But as soon as Wes' boss discovers Sadie fled home after a brutal murder of her little sister Maddie, he sees the makings of something big and orders Wes to the small town of Cold Creek, Colorado, to uncover what happened. Sadie has no idea her story will soon become the subject of a blockbuster podcast. She just wants revenge. Armed with a switchblade, Sadie follows a meager set of clues, hoping they'll lead to the man who took Maddie's life, because she's determined to make him pay for it with his own. But as Wes traces her journey to the darkest, most dangerous corner of big cities and small towns, a deeply unsettling mystery begins to unfold, one that's bigger than them both. Can he find Sadie before it's too late? Roll number 5. Got a 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This square is feed scroll. I think that one will be also pretty easy because my Goodreads and stuff is mostly stuff that I read. For roll number 5, we got a 10 and we landed on the square feed scroll. So for this one, you can scroll on different social medias. I decided to scroll on Goodreads. I did screen record, but I don't know how it turned out or if it even makes sense. Scrolled on Goodreads to find this book, Blackout, by a bunch of authors: Danielle Clayton, Tiffany D. Jackson, Nick Stone, Angie Thomas, Ashley Woodfolk, Nicola Yoon. This came out recently. A bunch of little romance stories. Each of them, I think, wrote their own romance story within a blackout in New York City. A summer heatwave blankets New York City in darkness. But as the city is thrown into confusion, a different kind of electricity sparks. First meeting, longtime friends, bitter exes, and maybe the beginning of something new. When the lights go out, people reveal hidden truths. Love blossoms, friendship transforms, and all possibilities take flight. These authors bring the glowing warmth and electricity of Black teen love to an interconnected novel of charming, hilarious, and heartbreaking stories that shine a bright light through the darkness. That is what I'm reading for Feed Scroll. Plus, it's pretty short. I think it's under 250 pages, which is good. Now, time for our first double extra roll. So, roll number 6. We have an 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Most recent purchase. Oh my gosh. Even though I got like, I'm not mad. That sounds like I'm mad. Even though I got extra rolls, I feel like I've gotten really easy prompts on here. Not that any of these are super hard. For roll number 6, we got 8 and landed on most recent purchase. So for this one, I don't really exactly know which one's my most recent purchase. So I just went with one that's pretty recent and one of my most recent ones. And that is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. If you don't know what it's about, Avery Grahams has planned for a better future, survive high school, win a scholarship, and get out. But her luck changes in an instant when billionaire Tobias Hawthorne dies and leaves her virtually his entire fortune. The only catch, Avery must move into a sprawling mansion full of secret passages, riddles, and codes. Unfortunately for Avery, Hawthorne's house is also occupied by the family that was disinherited. This includes the 4 Hawthorne grandsons, dangerous magnetic boys who grew up with every expectation that one day they would inherit billions. Heir apparent Grayson is convinced that Avery is a con woman and he's determined to take her down. But his brother, Jameson, views her as their grandfather's last hurrah, a twisted riddle, a puzzle to be solved. Caught in a world of wealth and privilege, with danger around every turn, Avery will be have to play the game herself just to survive. So it's a game, inheritance game. It's kind of a mystery because, like, why was she inherited or whatever. I think there might be a little bit of a romance in here. Now time for what should be our last roll of the month. We got a 9, and that is our last roll. So let's see what the last one is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Dang it, I thought I avoided it. I got a chance card, and as you can see, I didn't pick any chance. I didn't make any because I thought I'm doing 5 ones. I'll probably not end up landing on one of them. And of course, the last one I ended up landing on it. I'm gonna write like just 4 books down. 4 chance spaces. You are supposed to write down books that you really want to read right now and books that you not as much want to read right now, and then randomly pick one. Normally there's like 16 of them. I'm just gonna put 4. Okay, so I just wrote them on little papers like this because I don't want to waste a bunch of paper, but like I said, I only picked 4. Okay, I'm gonna pick this one, still in my hands, and let's see what's it. Oh, this is I already forgot what was on here when I saw it coming. I thought it was, I don't know what book, I just didn't think it was this one. This is one that I really want to read this month, so I'm happy I actually for sure get it on my TBR. So Monday's Not Coming is the last book on my Bookoplathon TBR, and I'm so excited. This was so much fun. I might like play this again just randomly because I actually had so much fun playing this, and now that I have a version of it, I can just play it randomly certain months if I just feel like it. And for our final roll, we got which was roll number 7, we got a 9, and we landed on a chance card. And we ended up pulling Monday's Not Coming, which is one that I really wanted to read this month. Basically, this one doesn't have a synopsis on it, but basically it's about the main character. I can't remember her name, but she's a little shy. She has a best friend named Monday, and she hasn't heard from her quite a while, and it's the first day of school, and she's confused where she is because she knows she wouldn't leave her on the first day at school by herself to face it by herself. And so she's trying to figure out where Monday is, and no one else seems to care that Monday is missing, but I've heard the twist on this you will not guess, so I'm very excited about that. That's the last book that's technically on my TBR, but I do have 2 more books. Sorry, someone called me. I'm like having all the interruptions in this video, so sorry about that, but let's just quickly finish this out. The 2 books that I want to read this month but aren't on my TBR, first one is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid, which was on my August TBR, and I did not finish it, but I started it. And I am very interested in finishing it. I'm only on page 62, so I'm gonna try and read this weekend. If you don't know what it's about, it's Mick Riva's children, who he's in The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, I guess. I've never read it, but it's his children, and they have this party every year that's like super notorious. It follows a 24-hour time period, and by the end of this party at like 7 a.m. the house is up in flames. We don't know why. There's drama, there's family drama. I don't know if it's called a mystery, technically a mystery, or like a contemporary. I'm not really sure. It also has flashbacks to when their mom and dad met in like 1956, because this is set in 1983, I believe. So yeah, I want to get this done because I'm actually quite interested in it. And then if I have time, I do want to get to The Chain by Adrienne McKinty. This I think is Kristen's book club for her Patreon. I wasn't able to get it into any of the prompts, so I just have it as an extra book if I can get to it, or not. Like if I can't, then it's fine. But basically it's like a chain of kidnapping and money. So these mothers kidnap each other's kids to get their kid back. So like this mom will have her kid kidnapped, and by another mom who had their kid kidnapped. You just dropped your child off at the bus stop. A panicked stranger calls your phone. Your child has been kidnapped. The stranger then explains that their child has also been kidnapped by a completely different stranger. The only way to get your child back is to kidnap another child. You are now part of the chain. But it includes a bunch of money. So that is my September / Bookoplathon TBR, and I'm so excited about it. I haven't read anything so far in the month, and it's the 3rd, but that's okay. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and give it a big thumbs up. Both of those would mean the absolute world to me. My Instagram, Twitter, Goodreads, and Amazon wishlist will be linked in the description box below, and turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload from me. Comment down below what your September TBR is, if you're taking part in Bookoplathon, or if you're not, just let me know. Or if you've read any of the books that I'm planning on reading, let me know your thoughts on them. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!